There's recently been some additions to the market for 1/24th, 1/18th scale brushless systems. Today we are going to look at Hobbywings entry. Stay tuned. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So like I say, this week we are going to be looking at this, which is the new quick run brushless system combo for 24 scale, 18th scale, probably not 18th scale Capra RC crawlers. Hobbywing have made some great brushless systems in the past, the Fusion and the Fusion Pro and even the Fusion SE, really good entry-level kind of brushless systems actually that can really hold their own against some of the more expensive bits of kit that are out there on the market. I think for quite a while people have been wanting them to get into some release some smaller items for things like the SCX24 or the TRX4M. Well, they've finally done that, so yay, well done Hobbywing. Let's see if it's any good. So starting with the basic unboxing, if you like. Actually, the packaging is really quite nice. So it comes in that little sleeve, and then it's in these two plastic cases. One of the things I'm really keen on is kind of reusing stuff if I can. So these little plastic boxes will be very, very useful. So let's jump in and take a quick look at what it is that we've got. So you can buy both of these items separately. You can buy the motor on its own for around about £31, I think, and the ESC on its own for, again, around about £35. Or you can buy them together, which is what I did. And basically, this is what we get. So in the motor, there is the motor, some little instructions, that's it, and a handy case with lots of foam. ESC is the ESC, some more instructions, a cable for connecting to your brushed motor, because these can run brushed and brushless, and a signal cable, and we'll come on to that later. So taking a slightly closer look at the motor, I mean I've been around brushless motors for a while with the drone stuff, and this feels pretty nice. It's quite smooth, feels like it's going to be pretty good. Can't really see the windings very well in there to know whether they're particularly good windings or not. It is a 3500 kV motor, and it's a size is 1621. So that's the stator size of the motor. So it'll be 16 millimeters wide, 21 millimeters tall. So the ESC, I really like the size of the ESC. Going to be perfect for those little compact builds. So it's 28 millimeters by 17 millimeters, and then the height will be, you know, roughly 17, 18 millimeters again with the cables. And that is, you know, that is pretty tiny compared to, certainly compared to the stock TRX4M and the stock SCX24, although obviously the SCX24 and the TRX4M are a receiver as well. Attached to the ESC, you've got your motor connector, so that will just plug in there like so. Of course, you don't have to use the Hobbywing motor, but I assume that they're pretty well set up together. You have a battery connector, which I'm going to change because I don't have any batteries that use that PH2 connector. And then there's your connection to the receiver, so pretty standard 3-wire lead. In there as well, there is a little sort of rubber grommet or rubber cover, and that is covering these signal pins. And those signal pins are for programming the ESC, so you do need a programming card that it doesn't come with. So that's one thing you do need to remember. You will need to either use a programming card from your Hobbywing Fusion, if you've already got one of those somewhere, or get yourself a programming card. I think they're about £10. I'll put a link in the description. So normally, if you're doing your programming, you would connect into there and all good. Once you've finished doing the programming though, then this is where it's kind of quite funky. You can connect this to an extra channel on your radio, assuming you have one, and that will give you variable drag brake, adjustable drag brake on the fly. So that is a really nice, potentially really nice feature, and I'm definitely looking forward to giving that a try. If you want to use this with a brushed motor, you can do, this particular ESC, which is also pretty funky. Again, you will need that programming card because you'll need to tell it that you're using it with a brushed motor. Out of the box, sort of by default, it comes configured for brushless. But this cable, if you solder that onto your brushed motor, onto the 2 poles, that then connects into the ESC, the same as the normal motor plug does. And there you go, and that's it. You're good to go and control your brushed motor with that. I am not going to do that though. I'm going to use this bad boy. Nice to see on here there are multiple mounting options, so you can see there's lots of different holes on there at different sizes. I'm really hoping one of those is going to be a direct fit for the TRX4M transmission. It doesn't come with a pinion gear, so you will have to put a pinion gear on there. It is a 2mm shaft with a flat section on there, so you can put a grub screw on there. And what I've done is I've bought the Endura 11 tooth pinion gear because I am intending on putting this motor combination in my Ripper, which you guys haven't seen on my channel yet because I recorded the video, I filmed all the video, and then I never released it. This thing is an absolute nightmare to work on, let's be honest, because it is all buried in there. So I'm not going to try and film that, but I need to drop the transmission out and then we'll take it from there. Ooh, well, that was hard work, but we've got there. It isn't the, as I've said, it's not the easiest build, this Ripper, but we have managed to get the motor tucked away in there, ESC over to one side, receiver on the other, and they're just kind of on these sliders, which unfortunately are not smooth on the inside. This is a bit of a design flaw. So I don't know how well they're going to hold. They're just on bits of sticky Velcro for now, so hopefully that will keep it in place. I've left the roof off just for the moment so you can see what's going on. It's a bit of a mess. We will need to tidy some wiring up. It is a royal pain in the backside to get the battery in and out. I might need to think about using something a little bit less well, heavy duty than the original battery strap, maybe just a rubber band or something. But for the time being, we'll stitch up the roof panel, put that back on, and pop the interior in, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're all good to go. Let's pop it over to the indoor course and see how we get on. So, previously the line with this Ripper was off to the side. Obviously I've lost a little bit of front end weight by swapping over to this much smaller brushless motor. So whether that's making a difference here, I don't know. But I mean, in terms of the motor and the ESC, that is super smooth. I mean, you can see how slow this thing will crawl. I mean, that is crazy slow. So just like the Fusions, really, the slow speed control on this is absolutely bananas. I mean, that is bonkers. And it's so quiet as well, absolutely silent. Of course, where it is going to be handy as well is wheel speed. Sometimes the super slow crawl is not the way. But where I am pretty impressed with this is it doesn't seem to be cogging at all. So I definitely think we need to get this out in the wild onto some real rocks to see how it performs. Well, first impressions on the test course are pretty good. I mean, it is super smooth, lovely slow crawl, perfectly silent, can't hear a thing with it. I love the idea of having the drag brake available on a switch. Oh, I could put it on channel 4. Oh, mind you, that's on a three-way switch. Three-way switch. Might put it on a three-way switch on channel 4, and that way I can have, you know, none, 50% and 100%. Rather than all or nothing. Maybe. Who knows? Really like that feature though. What a clever little feature that is. We should definitely have more things like that. I love it. You know, it's not got Bluetooth. It's not got over-the-wire configuration or anything like that. You do need a programming card. So don't forget to get one of those if you haven't already got one with a Fusion or something similar. But I've hesitated in the past to look at and review or buy really brushless systems for these little things, because I just thought they were too expensive. You know, they were, by the time you bought a motor and, you know, paid 60 or 70 pounds for a motor, and then another 80 pounds for an ESC, it's a lot of money. You know, you're up to the £150 mark. Plus you've got to buy a radio and a receiver if you haven't already got those. You know, it was an expensive game switching over to brushless. So it's not something I've really kind of looked at or kind of pushed on the channel. However, these things are coming in at a reasonable amount of money now. So this setup, the Hobbywing setup, was £70 or £71, I think. And that is a much more reasonable price. The motors, like I say, are about £30. The ESC is about 40. Of course, I did have to put a receiver in there, which I'd already got, and I think they're about £10 each. So they're pretty reasonable as well. So that was a good investment. And I think at that kind of price, they're definitely worth looking at. This one, really impressed with it so far. Let's go outside, see how it goes, and we'll wrap up the video. Hey folks, Phil from the future here. Unfortunately, I can't go outside to wrap up the video because shortly after filming it, I was messing around on the test track, and this new, considerably more powerful and torquey brushless motor absolutely smashed my drive shafts to pieces. So there is something to be said there. Make sure you've got decent quality drive shafts. The original Traxxas ones that I had on there, the plastic ones, are not up to the job if the tyres get bound up a little bit, and it pinged it across the room. But there we go. That's not something I'm particularly worried about. They are something I would have upgraded anyway. It is a bit of a pain on the ripper build, and as a result I'm probably going to strip all of those parts off that ripper chassis and put it onto an Enduro carbon chassis with a different body on, to be honest. Much as I love the look of it, it's a real pain to work on, and I can't be bothered. So, there we have it. Heartily recommend that Hobbywing setup. I think it's a cracking little deal. Definitely, if you're looking at going brushless, you should be considering that one. I have also got the Enduro Fat Viper brushless system as well, and their ESC, so I'm going to be testing that in the next few days, and we'll throw that in a build as well. That's probably going to go into the IR40, so that could be quite cool. Hope you enjoyed this video, hope you found it useful and the information in there was helpful to you in some way. If you have any thoughts or questions or comments, please stick them in the comment section below. I always enjoy reading your feedback, and I do try and respond to all of those, so please jump in those comments. Like the video if you found it helpful, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already, and hit that notification bell so you find out when the next video comes out. In the meantime, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you soon. Take care.